Welcome to episode 5 of Going Places. I am here today with Pacifica.
Hi, my name is Pacifica Sommers. I am a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Colorado Boulder, and I study the biological diversity of microscopic ecosystems in extreme environments like Antarctica. So I'm going to take you today to one of my favorite places on Earth, which is in Antarctica, where I do some of this research. Let me share my screen. Share screen. All right. Can you see that?
Yeah,
Great.
not yet. Yes.
I'm here at my home in Boulder. I work at the University of Colorado Boulder. And to get from Boulder to Antarctica, I fly halfway around the world, first to New Zealand, to Christchurch. So we're going this way, Christchurch, New Zealand. And there I land at a terminal for transferring to Antarctica with the US Antarctic program and the New Zealand Antarctic program. Sometimes we ride in US Air Force planes, but sometimes we ride to Antarctica in New Zealand Air Force planes, like this one. This is a C-130. And if you've ever thought that riding coach economy on a commercial aircraft was a little bit squished these days, just wait till you get inside a C-130 with everybody else going to Antarctica and all their cold weather gear. We're like that for about 8 hours in the air, and the only bathroom is a bucket behind a curtain that you have to climb over everybody's knees to get to. So it's an adventure just to get there. Once I'm in Antarctica, so let's go to, I first land at McMurdo Station, which is on an island in the Ross Sea. I'm going to zoom back out here so you can see where it is. On this island where there's the southernmost active volcano, Mount Erebus. You'll see more about Mount Erebus in a second. I'm just going to zoom out so you can see the continent of Antarctica. Before I started working there, or rather dreaming about working there, I never really looked at the shape of the continent. You always see it spread out in a strip along the bottom of a map. It's kind of cool just to contemplate. Here's the tip of South America. So if I were going to work on this part of Antarctica, I'd probably go from Chile down to here. But instead, I'm working way over here, which is why I go to New Zealand first. So zooming back in, when I land at McMurdo, we land on an ice runway. And from there, I climb into a helicopter with the rest of the people on my research team. And we fly over the McMurdo Sound to the mainland continent of Antarctica to an area called the Dry Valleys. Along the way, if we fly along the ice edge, we might see killer whales and penguins out the window of the helicopter. And this is what the Dry Valleys of Antarctica look like. I'm going to go back to Google Earth. And specifically, I work in Taylor Valley, Antarctica. You can see from McMurdo Station, it's a short skip across the McMurdo Sound to this weird part of Antarctica, which unlike the rest of the continent, which is all white, this little bit is dark brown, it's exposed soil. It's not one big ice sheet. But within this valley, these glaciers of ice pour down through the mountains between the Asgard Mountains and the Kukri Hills. We have glaciers pouring down into the valley, and during the summers, they melt in streams and fill these perennially ice-covered lakes. Let me take you there. So once we land in the Taylor Valley in this helicopter, this is an image I took from the helicopter ride way up near the ice sheet, near the polar ice sheet, looking back out towards the ocean. And Mount Erebus and McMurdo Station are out here. And you can see these glaciers pouring down through the hills. I studied the microscopic life, the algae and the animals that eat that algae and the bacteria and even the viruses that live in small mud puddles on these glaciers. So I just want to take you to a couple of my favorite glaciers. Behind us, where this picture is taken, or rather, let's go all the way to the coast first. So I mentioned Mount Erebus. If we were looking out towards the ocean. Mount Erebus and McMurdo Station would be out here. And this is the glacier closest to the ocean in Taylor Valley. It's called Commonwealth Glacier. And this is Mount Erebus that's smoking in the distance. This is my research team on the glacier. This is Canada Glacier. It is our Goldilocks Glacier because it's in between Commonwealth and the polar ice cap, and it's in between the other glaciers in a lot of important ways. You might notice on this glacier, there are many blue dots in the ice as somebody's walking across. These are solid enough they can walk on them. And as we go to another glacier, Taylor Glacier, in this image taken by a UAS, uncrewed aerial system or drone, you can see our research team standing here and many more of these blue dots. These are called cryoconite holes, which is a fancy word for a mud puddle on a glacier. Even though they're solid enough to walk across, inside they're melted water, kind of like a Gushers candy. And because there's liquid water in this polar desert, the algae and the animals that eat that algae, and the viruses that infect them, and the bacteria that break all that down, they can all form an active ecosystem, like a natural petri dish, almost like another planet. And that's what I study in this beautiful place that I'm very privileged to work in, and with a fantastic community of other researchers there. So that's the Taylor Valley, Antarctica, and some of my favorite glaciers there.
That is so super cool. And who knew? I mean, some people did. You knew that there were all these little critters living in these holes on glaciers, and you can actually study them and learn about life at the extremes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
a lot of fun.
thanks so much for taking us there today, Pacifica.
Thank you.